We've reached Cup season here in the NCDA as hardware will be on the line the next 2 weekends as it is regional Cup time in collegiate dodgeball. Hello, everybody. I'm Eli Maestros, joined alongside by Andrew Krankowski, Ryan Ginsberg, and Kevin Bailey. Thank you guys all for joining today as we're going to talk about the month of February and so on in the NCDA.
Hi, Eli. How's it going?
I'm great, Andrew. Doing well. Athens is 60 degrees for the first time since it feels like my freshman year. The snow's not gone, but it's getting there. Spirits are high.
Yeah, I was able to walk out to the dining hall with khaki shorts today, so that was a plus. Had to do my laundry for my sweatpants, so I didn't need any of them, thank God. But great weather. Love to hear it. How you guys doing, Kevin and Ryan?
I'm doing great and excited for the Cup season coming up, and the weather's a bonus.
Yeah, doing well. Happy to be here. Yeah, good that you're doing your laundry. We'll talk about your jersey later in the podcast, so I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that's a little sneak peek. We're gonna be doing a little jersey review on everyone in the around the NCDA. We're gonna start it off talking about the cups coming up this weekend. We're starting off with the East Coast Dodgeball Cup. Got a little graphic here I can put on my screen and show you all the teams that we got going. This is our smallest event of the weekend. We got 3 teams. Oops, sorry about that. We got 3 teams going to Charlottesville, Virginia. We have Virginia, JMU, and Maryland. Eli, any thoughts on the East Coast Dodgeball Cup? You want to get us started?
Yeah, being on Ohio, we played 2 of these teams very recently. Our last 2 matchups, beat them both, but they're both very, very good dodgeball teams in their own separate ways. JMU is a very chaotic team. They like to throw balls. They have the power arms to do it, but they're a little out of control. But that's how they win games, is they get momentum, they throw people out, they make catches when they need to. And for Virginia, it's more of a slow-paced game. They get the ball control. They play off their leaders. Their corners are very strong. They execute team throws well. And they try to really grind you down. We did not play Maryland when we went out east this semester for Beasts, but they have some results. They traveled to a couple of tournaments earlier this season. And just looking at some results, they're kind of a mystery bag. They took this JMU team to overtime to open the year, and then came to Ohio. I don't believe they won a game in Ohio, but put up some really good fights against some of the nation's best.
Yeah, they are currently a winless team right now, but definitely put up some fights against Virginia and JMU with that overtime win or overtime loss. Really good showing from them. I know 3 of those losses were some forfeits due to them not being able to show up to the Beast tournament, which was unfortunate. But they're a team that you could see them beating JMU or Virginia, but I just don't think it's very likely. JMU and Virginia, however, they have 2 matchups against each other this season. 1-1. JMU lost to them 3-2, and then earlier in the season they had a loss to they were able to defeat them. I forget the score. That I don't have that pulled up at the moment, but they're 1-1, so they're matched up pretty well against each other. Anything from you guys?
Yeah, I think obviously the last game of the day, Virginia JMU, most people think will be the title game, assuming they both beat Maryland. I wouldn't count out Maryland just because of the way they play. They play a very slow game, lots of catching. So if you get a team like JMU gets too chaotic, there's too many catches, Maryland might be able to steal a point in a low-scoring game. You could see another overtime game or something. So I wouldn't completely count them out, but I think Virginia and JMU will be the title game at the end of the day. And I just have to give the edge to Virginia. Just being home and watch. They played both Ohio and Cincinnati tougher, just looking at the scores in their last tournament. I just think that they have the slight edge here. It's a nearly 50-50 game for me, but if I had to pick one, I'm going Virginia.
Yeah. I'm also taking Virginia. I think obviously you guys got to see them live. We saw Virginia back at the Athens tournament back in November, I think. And they kind
That
of
would be JMU.
I'm sorry, JMU. What did I say?
Virginia, sorry.
Virginia, sorry. Yeah. JMU. Well, the one thing I heard is JMU's got a lot of young players. So what I'm curious about is how much have they kind of upped their game since November or even since their most recent tournament. Like, I think that when you got a younger team, there's more room for improvement throughout the year. Is there a chance that JMU can pass Virginia, who definitely is one of the more veteran teams? At least they've got a good amount of seniors. So that's what I want to know. And then also Maryland. We saw Maryland back at the Akron tournament. We didn't play against them, but they put up a fight against Bowling Green in that first game. And they looked solid, and they were missing a ton of starters from what I heard. So have we really seen the full Maryland squad at any point this year? I don't know. Maybe the first tournament when they took JMU to overtime. Any of these games could go any way just based off what we've seen so far this year. I want to have Virginia still, but I wouldn't be surprised by any result really.
Yeah, personally, I like JMU. I mean, playing both of them, playing JMU 3 times, and then seeing Virginia in a pretty good matchup against us. I just feel like JMU has been the stronger team throughout, and just playing against them, they seem like the better team, even despite the results being a 3-0 victory over them with a little bit closer of a game against Virginia. JMU still felt like the stronger team, and that's why I like them better.
Can I ask this for you guys? I want to know
Absolutely.
where does JMU, where does Virginia land in terms of just raw talent in the NCDA right now?
Raw, as in stacked up against other teams, or just like in terms of players they
Yeah.
have, best arms, best catchers?
Yeah, just like physical talent as dodgeballers, not veteran players, not experienced, not like honing all the skills, but just straight up you look at JMU's roster, are they a bunch of athletes that could stack up with any team, or are they middle of the pack?
I think my take on that is why it really stands out is JMU's catching ability. I mean, from 1 through 12, I mean, it's scary to throw against all 12 of those guys. Like, all of them are plus catchers, and it's kind of scary to look at. I think the problem with JMU is sometimes they don't put it all together with their catchers, and they don't really take advantage of it because they got
Yeah.
some power arms too that really they take advantage of. But I just don't think they take advantage of the coordination that some other teams do to get the wins over them, which I think is exactly why Cincinnati did so well in that tournament with their like coordination and their good coordination, and their like they were able to hone their skills better than JMU. Even though I don't know if they were a more skilled or talented catching or throwing team, I think they were just able to execute it better.
Dang.
I actually am going to say also JMU, but for the complete opposite reason. I was really impressed, more honestly, at Ohio. When they came to Ohio, I was more impressed by their arms. There's a couple of guys, like, they have some real top end talent on their team that they can just blow you away with their arms. And then they've got a couple of guys in the corner, specifically Jackson Haney, he was kind of off his game at Beast earlier this month. He was on his game, I'll tell you, at the Bobcat Bonanza, because he clipped me a couple times. He can cross like no other in the league. His timing is great. His accuracy is great. I think their arms can stack up against some of the better teams, probably like a mid-level team in Ohio or Michigan.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the reason that I don't see that as much is just their lack of coordination. I mean, they have those arms. I just don't think they use that to their fullest ability.
Yeah, I think they get beat by a Adam Pfeiffer led team, a Wes Peters led team, a Ryan Ginsburg, Kevin Bailey led team. You know, teams with really smart, cunning, handsome coaches that are able to put their players in the right place.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think honestly, like JMU for like the last decade, it's kind of been that story of, oh, they got a lot of talent. They can't really put it together fully. They lack a little bit on like the coordination side. I don't know. They played a good amount of tournaments against good teams this year, so maybe they turn the corner there. We'll see.
Definitely. All right, moving on. We're going over to we're going down south. We got the South Dodgeball Cup. Got 4 very competitive teams here. 3 of them that are pretty new in the NCDA, which is very exciting. Actually, all 4 are quite still getting their first steps in college dodgeball. We have the NKU Norse, UNG, Northern Georgia, Georgia Southern, and Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, This is a little weird to gauge. Personally, I haven't seen much of the South. I haven't played against any of these teams since last year. But from what I've heard and what I've seen, just watching games in general, I like North Georgia and I like NKU. I think those are the two favorites coming in, as everybody predicted. But I think those are more than just Southern region favorites. I think those are really strong, Nationals Saturday day teams who could put a scare into a 5 through 12 in the bracket.
Yeah, I totally agree there. Just from what I've seen on streams this year, and I've seen NKU, I think, a little bit in person. Their talent's definitely growing. This is their third or fourth year now in the league, so they have some players like Will Strong and Braylon Patton who've been around for a few years now, so they're really starting to become top end players in the league. North Georgia, I've just seen a little bit on stream, but they're one of the more athletic teams in the league. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch them yet, and Kevin's just talking about physical talent with like Jamie at Virginia, North Georgia is also one of those teams that could stack up with almost anyone in the league, just pure physical talent wise. I'm just not sure if NKU's had the luxury of being next to Ohio and getting some more experience against better teams. And I think that combination, along with, Coach Wes Peters, I think they'll take the South Dodgeball Cup. But I think North Georgia could give them a fight. I'm also excited to see Alabama play. I saw a little bit of them on stream at Miami, which was shout out to them for making that drive up there. And apparently they were missing a lot of starters. So I'm hoping they can get, their whole squad there to the South Dodgeball Cup and see if they can make some noise against an NKU or a UNG team.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely a very exciting team to watch and to like cover over the course of the year. They're 2-6 on the year so far with their only 2 wins over Georgia Southern. I think my prediction or something I'd like to see is them taking a win over Northern Georgia or NKU shaking things up a bit in the South Dodgeball Cup. I've talked to Avery Weathers a couple of times, and they like talking about how much better they get throughout the year and how like their steps that they've taken through each tournament they've played has been just like hard to like gauge just how much better they've gotten since the start of the year all the way to last weekend when they played in Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm excited to see what happens with Alabama at this tournament, and like they had a ton of new players last weekend, and watching that film, you can kind of see that. So I want to see what they look like with closer to their full roster. Um, I'm still buying Alabama stock long term. I think that they're going to be in a good spot next year and moving forward. But you have to, at the end of the day, you have to also consider Alabama's a full team of rookies. Every single player on that team, it's their first season in the NCDA. So when they go up against NKU, I'm still picking NKU to win that. When they go up against North Georgia, Ryan already hit on it, but I'm buying stock in them too. I think that they're really talented. If they retain the players that they had in their fall tournament and they still have that same roster, I think that over the next couple years, that could turn into a very dangerous team. I'm looking at their roster right now, and in the ages of the players on the team, there's a lot of freshman, sophomore, junior on there, not very many senior. So that's a really good sign. Um, I'm very close between North Georgia and Northern Kentucky for who wins this. I really want to pick North Georgia. Um, you know what? I'll pick North Georgia. I'm going to say that they're going to win. Their talent is going to outlast the like experience and just the coaching of Wes Peters and the experience of that team.
Yeah, it looks like they have one matchup so far at Crimson Chaos where NKU came over them, only 4-2. And
Yeah.
to me, looking at just from a number standpoint, looking at NKU's wins and losses, they've had a weird year. Starting off at the beginning of the year, they had a really close game against Miami where they lost only by 1 point, 3-2, and that was like a weird outcome considering they also lost to BGSU 7-0 or 7 or 8-0 that same day. So I just feel like this NKU team's been really spotty over the year, and personally, I like UNG on a good day as well. And I think I like them winning this South Dodgeball Cup for the first time.
I think the biggest thing is I hope that the other regions in the league watch this or watch it back on Sunday after they play their own tournament. The South region is growing. I think it's super exciting. And you've got a lot of young teams right now that are competing for a cup. I'm excited to watch this back. Probably the next day.
Yeah, same here. This will be an awesome one to rewatch, as I won't be able to watch Saturday, but Sunday, I'm sitting on the couch. I'll probably rewatch this one. This one, it's really exciting.
Yep.
Really exciting to see the future of the South region because they are growing very quickly.
Eli, got anything to add on the South Dodgeball Cup?
I think NKU will win. Don't bet against West Peters in February, but I really am excited to see North Georgia. They haven't played since mid-November. That's what, 3 months, take away winter break, 2 months for those athletes to just learn dodgeball and dedicate themselves to getting better at pitching, getting better at catching. They've already got the athleticism down. Is if they really hone in dodgeball, like you guys were saying, that could be a really dangerous team. But for now, I think I'm going to have to go with NKU repeating as South Dodgeball Cup champions.
Fair enough.
All right.
NKU's 15th
Moving
in the
on.
rankings right now, and North Georgia's 18th. So I guess the power ranking voters agree with you.
All right, moving on. We got the Michigan Dodgeball Cup coming up this weekend. We got two high-ranked teams in Michigan State and Grand Valley, along with Western Michigan and Central Michigan, two underdogs in the Cup. What do we got going on here, fellas?
I guess I can go first. So I don't think either Grand Valley or Michigan State struggle at all on their way to the quote unquote title game at the end of the day. I think both these teams are just way too talented for Central Michigan and Western Michigan, both just young teams that are just trying to get their feet wet and get some more games under their belt. I guess before that title game will be Central versus Western, which is a game I'm excited for just to see how these two teams are growing as the year goes on, since they're both very young teams. I think me and Kevin are both buying stock in Central, so I'll take Central in that game, and I think they'll take third in the Michigan Dodgeball Cup. And then moving to the title game, I just think Michigan State is too talented and they play too smart for Grand Valley in this one. I think Grand Valley's way to success in this one is their senior arms, their leaders are going to have to be better than the top arms on Michigan State. Just because I think if it becomes a game where they cancel each other out, Michigan State's 5 through 12 is more talented and just better right now than Grand Valley's 5 through 12, since that's just the younger back half for Grand Valley. So I think if Grand Valley is going to win, I think it's going to be their top four, all going to have great games. I just don't see that happening. I have Michigan State in the Michigan Dodgeball Cup.
Yeah, I think it's tough to overlook that 10-0 start. I mean, they have their proven wins against Kent State this past couple weekends ago. They were two very solid wins against a pretty full Kent State roster, only missing a couple guys where they weren't fully healthy. They weren't fully rostered up themselves. I mean, they've just looked dominant. I mean, in the points they've lost, they've been a little concerning. Like, they don't really look that great, but I feel like it doesn't really matter because they've been able to turn it up in the second half or later in the game against these good teams and just really dominate. Grand Valley, on the other hand, had a pretty good year. I mean, they're fourth in the rankings right now, so they're just behind Michigan State. Their three losses haven't been too concerning to see. I mean, I think two of them have been against Michigan State, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'd like to see them go over the hump and beat Michigan State this coming weekend, because that's who I have, really. I mean, I agree with Ryan. I think their 5 through 12 might not be as good as Michigan State's, but I think their 1 through 4 is just that much better than Michigan State's. I think they can really overcome. I think they're stacked at the top, where Michigan State, after their 1 through 4, it doesn't really, after maybe a couple guys, it doesn't really nothing really excites me compared to GVs. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this will, like you said, the top four is so important. These are, in terms of three-headed monsters, Grand Valley, I think, has the best in the league. Maybe only with your Ohio State team, Ryan. Aiden Jacobs, Ryan Paddock, Matt Budai is a ridiculously experienced, talented, battle-proven group of 3 players. But Michigan State is just so loaded. National Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. You've got All-Americans scattered. You pick of the lot. I think that Michigan State's firepower is just going to be a little bit too much. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to give a prediction because I'm coaching and potentially reffing some of the games. You know what? I will give a prediction. Grand Valley's going to win. In terms of Central and Western, Central Michigan's last game against them, by the way, they won 5-1. So we look at it like the Michigan State and Grand Valley is one tier, and then the other two are another. I would argue Central Michigan is their own tier at this point. And like Ryan said, I'm definitely buying stock in them. They did a good job recruiting this year, whereas Western has lower numbers. They haven't been to as many events. Central Michigan is, I mean, they haven't gone to a ton of events, but like they played 7 games and they played 7 games mostly against really good opponents. They played Michigan State like 4 times this year already. Um, and we're going to be facing them the week after MDC as well. So Central Michigan, I'm buying stock in. I think that they'll easily get 3rd place in this. Who knows what they do against Grand Valley or Michigan State, but I think that they definitely will handle Western. And then in terms of the Grand Valley Michigan State thing, last time we played them, Michigan State beat us 6-0. That was on our home court. So I think the ball is in our court to kind of prove where we are, and that we can compete with Michigan State. I agree about Michigan State's depth and all of that. I know a couple of you guys mentioned that. And I've probably gotten to see them live more than any of you guys, but I totally agree. I think that they've got a good mix of talent and experience that any good team should have. That's why they've been number 1 in the power rankings for my ballot for whatever, since the start of the year, I think. But yeah, I think Grand Valley definitely can beat them. I think this is going to be an interesting time for us to see where we stand because we haven't played a tournament since last semester. And I think that a lot of our younger guys, like Ryan was talking about, the 5 through 12 is less proven for Grand Valley. The 5 through 12 for Grand Valley is going to be what determines what sort of team we have in April. So I'm excited to get a little bit of a midterm test for those guys at MDC.
I think an underrated aspect could be is that for these Grand Valley seniors, it's kind of their last chance to get one. So
Yeah.
maybe they come out with a little more energy than they might have had in the past few tournaments, just really trying to get one of these cups before their career's over.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that there's no one on our team that has an MDC. I could be wrong. There could be someone that, yeah, I don't think any of them have a MDC title.
I think that's definitely a big thing for them to think about. I mean, there's been so much talk on these Grand Valley State guys. I think this might be the first graduating class to not win a national championship or an MDC at all. It's a tough thing to think about for these guys playing 4 years, having that like ego of playing for Grand Valley State, one of the best like team like historically, and then they're not able to put it through with their talent that they have. And I think that this is that tournament that they really can prove everyone wrong and show people that they're able to get over the hump and finally beat Michigan State this year. But moving on from that, we're going to go on to the Ohio Dodgeball Cup going up next weekend. It's our largest tournament of the Cup season. We have 8 teams attending. We have going through 1 through 8 on the seedings. We have Ohio State, Miami of Ohio, Cincinnati, Kent State, Ohio University, Akron, Cleveland State, and then BGSU.
This is going to be a really fun tournament. Every team kind of has a different outlook coming in. I think some teams are getting really hot when they need to, and others are kind of searching at a time when searching is not the best thing to be doing, especially when you get into the later months of the season. A lot of fun matchups. I think that semifinal round is going to be one for the ages. I just really like how everyone stacks up. Miami, Cincinnati. I mean, obviously, that's my prediction. If that ends up being the case, that's going to be another national championship rematch. The 3rd time they played this year. Both times have been incredibly good games. Um, Obviously, Ohio is going to take it on the left side and probably win it all pretty handily. But no, Ohio State has a unbelievable amount of talent. We really haven't got to see them yet. Ohio, we played them earlier this year when they only brought 11 to a tournament. But the fact you can have Will Dalton in one corner, Colson Bunch in another corner, Max Hedling playing free safety, it's a ridiculous group of talent, and they're number one for a reason in the standings.
Yeah, I think definitely that Ohio versus Kent is the best matchup of the first round. I mean, it's two of them. It's two good state, two very well, somewhat proven teams. I mean, Kent State has had that dominant roster that everyone looks at, like seeing all those big names, and like they haven't really been able to put it all together against the top tier teams so far. They had a tough weekend against Michigan State where they blew a decent lead against Michigan State in the first game, and then didn't really do too much in the second one. But I mean, they've had a really good season so far, been able to beat some pretty good teams like Miami so far. And then, I mean, Ohio, I don't really have much to say about that considering I'm from there. I mean, we've had a good season. I really like where we're ending up after the Beast tournament, but it'll be interesting to play this Kent State team for the first time and actually see that prove it. Probably our first top 5 matchup in forever since
Yeah.
JBTP.
Yeah, the first round matchup I'm excited for is definitely Ohio versus Kent. Weirdly enough, I think Kent's the second best team here, yet seeded fourth. So I think, just mid-year season seedings, you just get luck of the draw. But I don't think I could count Ohio out. That's not even just a biased take. I think from what I saw on film at East Coast, I saw a lot of improvement compared to what I saw at the home tournament in Ohio. So I don't think Kent can kind of just like look ahead to Ohio State, which sometimes happens in these type of events. You look forward without really studying your first team. So that match could be closer than expected. I think all the favorites win in the first round: Ohio State, Miami, Cincinnati, Kent. And then I do think Ohio State beats Kent. We've seen it. They've played before this year, and Ohio State beat them, I think. I think just they're going to come, ready to play, and just the amount of talent. I think Ohio State and Kent play similar ways. I think Ohio State just has that slight talent edge that'll give them the advantage in that game. And then I like Cincinnati on the other side to beat Miami. Miami really struggled with Ohio State at their home tournament, and that's kind of concerning to me. And Cincinnati has Will Dalton and Brett Sweeney, both who I think are first team All American caliber players. And they've coached Wes Peters on the sideline, so I think that'll give them the edge to meet in the final. And then Ohio State's not letting Wes Peters get another cup, is my prediction.
Is that your prediction or your goal, Ryan?
Both.
Yeah. I think the Kent State thing's weird because I also think that they're the second best team in Ohio right now. But then also Ohio is like the surging team where if you put Ohio against either of those top seeded teams on the other side of the bracket, I think there's a better argument than them going up against Kent State. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the matchup plays out, but Ohio, obviously, you guys are surging, and like what you did against the East Coast teams is impressive. I watched part of the Kent State Michigan State thing, and Kent State is just solid. I think they're the second best team in Ohio. So I'm gonna pick Ohio State to beat Bowling Green. I've been buying Bowling Green stock. Honestly, the game against Akron, while it was a close game, I wasn't like overly impressed by either of those. Neither of those teams are really top end teams right now. It is what it is. Bowling Green's super young. So I think Ohio State's going to win that pretty handily. Kent State against Ohio, who knows? That one could be close. I think Kent State's going to win. Miami, saw part of Miami last weekend when they played Ohio State and they didn't look great, but I think they're going to beat Cleveland State. Cincinnati, I'm high on Cincinnati right now. I think Cincinnati's another team that, like I said with JMU, Cincinnati has a bunch of young players that are going to just get way better by the end of the year. So they're not even close to their final form here at ODC, but I think that they're definitely going to be better than Akron, and then I think they'll beat Miami as well. So I kind of agree with Ryan's entire bracket, and then I'll put Ohio State beating Cincinnati in the finals. I think Cincinnati's going to run out of gas too. Give me Ohio State like 4-1 in the finals.
Yeah, I think the big thing that's not talked about as much is Cleveland State season so far. I mean, they've been really interesting. Last year in April, they had their real breakout campaign at the tournament, upsetting Grand Valley State in day one, and then they just really looked like a solid team that looked like they could get better
Yeah.
going on into the 2025-26 year. And I mean, Miami's that team that seems like they're on a little bit of a decline right now. I mean, they got blown out at home against Ohio State, which is a really interesting thing to think about when they've been in the top 3 all year, and then seeing a
Yeah.
loss like that to Ohio State, and then even Kent State last semester at the Bobcat Bonanza. It's just Miami's a team really to look out for, where Cleveland State could definitely give them a scare. I'm not saying I like them upsetting Miami, but I think they could make it a lot closer of a matchup than really one might expect.
Geez, that's interesting. I almost look at it the opposite way, where I think Miami is like that super smart, disciplined team, and Cleveland State is like that pesky, whatever. They got a couple top end players, so who knows? Maybe all bets are off because Cleveland State's got some really good top end players, but I feel like Cleveland State makes their money by taking advantage of the other team's mistakes, and Miami can play that game where they say, all right, we're not going to make a mistake for the next 20 minutes. You have to come beat us. So I feel like I take it the opposite way, and I think that it's Miami has a good matchup here against them because of that.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting to think about when you think of both of those teams' top players with Leo Rockamore and then Yostin. I mean, they match up pretty well against Miami's top end players and Max Boone and Philip Hampton? I mean, obviously you would have to think Miami definitely has a better 1 through 12, but does those top end players on Cleveland State, if they can really pull through, I think they definitely can give them a good scare. And I have to agree with you. It's a good matchup for Miami with their coordination and all that, with Cleveland State trying to be that team taking advantage of mistakes. But you never know what's going to happen in dodgeball. Anything could happen with coordination. Miami could be having an off day, and anything could happen.
Yeah, this could be another one of those ODCs like last year where you look back at it after the national championship game and be, why were Miami and Cincinnati in the 5th place game? They both lost in the first round last year, I believe.
Yeah.
It was just another one of those where all these teams are so close, you could look back at it and it'll just make no sense.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to. Okay, Grand Valley has played Cleveland State in an overtime game, but I would say I don't want to be in an overtime game against Cleveland State. I think it's not just like their top couple players. Their 1 through 6 is really good. So
I think especially if you're Miami. I think Cleveland State. I take Cleveland State in an overtime 6 against Miami. Maybe not in a real matchup. I don't think I'd take them, but if they get to an overtime 6, I agree. I would definitely be scared to face them. I do want to point back to that you talking about Ohio on the right side of the bracket. I mean, that's something that I've been thinking about pretty well. I mean, we went into the semester pretty low ranked, near the 16th seed, and all we were thinking about going to that Beast tournament was moving up our ranking, getting our stock higher. And it really almost, if you think about it, it almost backfired going into this tournament in specific.
Pretty poorly.
I mean, you'd want to see us against anyone, but as a president and the captain, I mean, I'd like to see us against anyone but Kent State or Ohio State, and that's just what we did. I mean, we're facing what I believe and what everyone here believes is the top 2 teams in Ohio in the first 2 rounds, and it's just a really interesting thing to think about. With our success comes with a little bit of a unfortunate seeding going into this ODC.
Really not looking forward to playing against Emmanuel Miller, former Bobcat. It's going to suck playing against him. I played against him in practice, got a couple welts from him, and I think he takes them off in practice is what I'm hearing. So standing across from him, game on the line, a step out might be in the cards there for me. I think my own health might take the forefront, but that's to be determined.
Yeah, and then just to end it off for myself, I mean, I didn't give a prediction. We got Ohio winning the Cup, going over Kent State, Ohio State, and then whoever's on that right side. And that's going to be my where I put my bets.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats. Anyone else got their predictions? I don't know if anyone forgot to.
Kent State over.
No, go ahead.
I think it's going to be Kent State over Cincy. Just I love Kent State. I love the. We'll get into this later. The powder blue. I've said it before. I love Evan Harbison. I love his hair. I love his arm. I love Eman Miller. JJ Oldenburg's jacked and throws really hard. They've got catchers. They've got athletes. They've got arms. But Ohio State also has all of that, and they've all proven themselves on the biggest stage. So I think that game, Ohio State and Kent State, is the pseudo championship. I think whoever comes out of the left side of the bracket will win it all.
I don't
Yeah,
think
by the
we've
way-
mentioned it too. So Kent has that home court advantage, if you will.
Yeah, true. Ohio State went 6-1 against Kent State when they played this season. They won 6-1. We'll see what happens at this tournament. That was early in the year, but something to consider. But yeah, Kent
Yeah,
State
another thing
obviously
that-
super deep.
Eli brought up Mr. Evan Harbison. There's been a lot of talk in our NDA Gamecock group chat. Our core players, me versus Evan Harbison. A lot of Gamecocks going to be in attendance, so you'll see me and Evan turning it up for that. Be a really fun matchup. Just wanted to point that one out.
By the coop.
Fly the coop. It's a cockfight, we're calling it.
Ready to look at some jerseys?
We're ready to look at some jerseys. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen here.
I
Eli's
thought we were
got a
going
little tier
to.
list.
I thought we were going to the Central region for a minute.
Xanderthon.
Oh, Xanderthon.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that. Sorry, I did not have time to make the graphic for it, but we are going to talk about it. If anyone has the teams and the schedules, I'd love to hear it.
I can read it off if you want.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
just
love
give
it.
you the teams. The teams in attendance, we got Nebraska, Illinois, Wisconsin Platteville, Iowa in their first season in the league. And then over on court 2 now we have Winona State, which those games are just going to be exhibitions. So these aren't official induction matches for Winona State. And then a mixed crew as well. So a team like combo team. So like a few of the teams, Eau Claire and then Stout are not fielding official teams at this event, but they will have people there. So kind of a huge thing for the Central region. This is one of the biggest events they've probably ever had, which is awesome.
You always hear about Xanderthon every year, being this is my second year in the league. It's one of the things I really I hear a lot about when it comes to the Central region. That's what you think about, besides the South Dodgeball or the Central Dodgeball Cup, obviously. But it's just basically it. I mean, it's a preview of that coming up in a couple weeks. I think that's March 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yes. And I don't know. I mean, Nebraska's definitely the team to think about. They're currently undefeated and only playing Central teams, so they got what it takes to go 3-0 with whoever they're playing. I think that's really definitely the top headline is, does Nebraska keep doing it in the Central region?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Platteville versus Illinois match. I think they've played a couple close matches this year, and if you look overall, they're pretty close teams. I'm really interested to see that, since neither have played, since the switch of the semester, if either team has really improved a ton, in that time frame, and if any have improved enough to really make a statement here and give Nebraska a real scare before the Central Dodgeball Cup. Because right now I think Nebraska is the pretty heavy favorite. So I wonder if any of those two teams will make a showing here that'll make us, maybe think twice about that. Then also, I was impressed by Iowa at their first tournament. I saw them play Platteville a little bit, and they had a few athletes. So I'm excited to see what kind of improvements they've made since. And I know they have jerseys, and we might preview those in a little bit, but I think they're pretty sweet. Too little spoiler.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, I think there's like two tiers here where it's Nebraska and Wisconsin Platteville are kind of like a little bit above the rest. I want to see what Illinois looks like, but Nebraska, Wisconsin Platteville, I don't know if anyone watched from Hawkeye State Showdown back in December. So that was like one of the last tournaments. That was the last tournament of the fall semester. But the game Nebraska against Wisconsin Platteville was electric. It went to overtime. Nebraska won 4-3. I expected Nebraska was kind of like head and shoulders above UWP. Apparently that's not the case. So I think that you could see another close matchup between those two teams. I don't know. We're going to see where it goes. UNL is undefeated, but they had a scare already. It's not like they're above the rest of this region right now. We'll find out. And then, yeah, Iowa, I want to see where they go from here because that was, yeah, that was cool to see that they had some athletes in their first tournament. And obviously, you're not going to win your first games against teams that are way more experienced, but we're going to see Iowa against Illinois for the first time. And then Iowa against Nebraska. Let's see how they do compared to last time.
Yeah, definitely some exciting stuff. Eli, you got anything to add?
I'm excited to see Illinois. We played them. We played Illinois at the South Oak Showdown. Ohio beat them 8-0, but it wasn't like a comfortable. It was weird. They have some talent. Like I think they only brought 9 or 10 players, so it was a bit. They were a disadvantage to start with. Obviously, they have 3 players. I think actually. I'm not entirely sure their names. Crank can give me one of them.
I know Avon Tower. He
Avon
liked my
Tower's
Instagram story the other day.
He's a rookie and he throws gas and he catches. He could start at, I think, 90% of schools in this league.
I think he starts on every team in the league. I think he's that good of a
now that
rookie.
you say it, I think he does too.
I could not believe he was a rookie when we played him. That's how good of a refined
Really?
player he seemed to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
And this is in October too. He's got 2 months under his belt. He's like you're going into the game. It's a little bit like, all right, it's Illinois. You know, we can beat them without really giving our all. Not to discredit Illinois, obviously. And then he comes off rush and rifles one, hits our guy, bounces 10 feet in the air, and you're thinking holy crap, who is this kid? What? And then he made a team catch or a team throw catch right after. What's his name again? Sorry,
Avon Tower. I don't know if
Avon
I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the best way. That's
he was
how I'm
unbelievable.
sounding it out.
Wow.
They
So
have a couple of
is this his Rookie of the Year campaign that you're starting right now?
Absolutely.
I
Really?
think it has to be.
Buying an unbelievable amount of stock.
I
Okay.
think the unfortunate part for him is that he's not playing enough of those Ohio and Michigan teams outside of that Miami tournament where he's not really getting the recognition he deserves, which it'll be definitely exciting to see him in nationals playing against these teams, but it's just tough seeing those 8-0 losses to Ohio, which probably could happen again in nationals to them, where he's really balling out, but the rest of his team isn't really doing as much with him.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, they have a solid core of 5 or 6 players, but it's just after that, it seems like they're having trouble getting that full roster. I like what Eli's talking about with, the 8-0 win was pretty dominant, but I mean, there were some points where they were giving us some scares with pretty even matchups, and you're like, whoa, this team is better than you would think. So they're definitely a team that I think can turn some heads at that the Xanderthon.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the other guy too in the other corner. Alejandro Alanis, I believe is how you pronounce it.
He was next to Avon. There's another guy on the other side. I forget his name too.
He was a big cross guy. Which is impressive from a player who doesn't have much experience to be able to cross with timing. Those guys, they have a core of 4 or 5 people who are really bought in. And some of them are really good, some of them are getting there, but you could tell they're barking out orders. They're running up and down the court when they're down 6-0 in the second half. They're making plays. It was impressive. I'm a big Illinois guy personally, just from playing them. I also love talking to them. They're a funny group of guys. So it was fun to see.
One thing in specific, it's something I just keep remembering, is during that South Oak Showdown, I was sitting out in the corner, getting ready to get caught back in. I was first in line. I was talking to all 4 of those guys that we just played against in the UC game, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go do it for you. And I went out there and I balled out and I talked to them after. They're just great guys to have conversations with, and I'm definitely buying stock for them next year. I'm just hoping they get that really good recruiting class. I think they can get a couple more real dodgeball players, and there's someone that's really just throwing it down against Nebraska next year.
Wow. That's exciting.
So are we on to jerseys now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's look at some of the best threads around the league. Can everybody see that fine?
Yes, we can.
I'm sharing screen. Okay. We got our classic tier list, S, A, B, C, D. Does anyone need a refresher on how that works? S is a perfect jersey. D is a jersey that could be remade. probably next year. Let's start. Pictures are all right. We've seen most of these jerseys in person, though, with Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats. Personally, as an Ohio player, I'm thinking C.
I like that. I think it's the middle of the road. I don't think there's anything that can be like trashed up upon the jersey. It just doesn't stand out to me. I enjoy wearing it. I think it's a quality jersey, but I mean, obviously, I think compared to some jerseys you'll see, it's really not the best out there.
I'm taking this seriously. I'm pulling up photos on my laptop right now as well. I might put it, yeah, C or B.
I'm good
I'm
with
open to
C.
either of those.
Go with C for now. Grand Valley State with the blue, the white shorts, and the water print all across the midsection. For me, I mean, we've got 20 of these. I'll give quick thoughts. I'm going to go B.
I like A. I think it's really a top end jersey, but I don't think it's perfect. But I think it's definitely up there. I like A.
I like A as well. The watermark is pretty clean.
I think that's the best part about it is how clean that is.
I'm biased. I would have also said A. Um, I think it's their best uniform since, I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. They had black ones recently. They had all whites. Neither one of those were good. I think that blue with the white shorts is just clean look. So we're keeping them next year. I can confirm that.
We cannot confirm we're keeping ours next year. Me and Eli want to get rid of them. We have our. I think we've had them for like 3 years now, so we're gonna get cooking this summer on those.
All right.
Hopefully, we'll see it in S next year.
Back to the Ohio region, we've got Ohio State. I like the stripes on the side. I wish there was a little more happening in the middle. I'm going to say B.
I am perfectly in agreement with you. I really like the homage to like it just reeks of like OSU football, which I think is where they're kind of going at. And that my favorite jerseys from the football team from OSU football is those all scarlet. So I'm gonna put it in B because there's nothing that really stands out. I just like the vintage look to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like B. It's basic, but it works.
You guys, the sleeve thing, I get it. You might have convinced me to go B. I was gonna go C at first. I think that the font and stuff on the front is just horrible. I'm sorry. You guys got like top 5 uniforms in football to work with, and in the football or the dodgeball uniforms are not up to par.
I
B
definitely
or
like that
C?
reasoning.
We'll go
It's the
B.
font. I think they're better than the black ones that they had with the gray sleeves recently.
I
I think they're better
I
than
agree.
that. So
Those either.
B is fine because it's improvement.
They look
Next
too
up-
much like the old Ohio jerseys, which I did not like wearing last year as a rookie. I know where Eli's going to put this. He loves the powder blues.
Powder blues. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. The lightning bolts down the side, the script Kent State. This is an S tier for me.
I think my real problem is I think Kent State, I don't like what they wear with them. Not throwing any shade to Mike Bilsko, but he wears red knee pads with these powder blues, and it really just doesn't go together. I mean, some of those dudes just aren't really doing their jersey justice, but I still think it's an S. I think this might be the best jersey in the league.
Yeah.
On its own, it's probably S tier. I wish they had shorts or something to either coordinate with or match with, but the jersey on itself, I think I could agree with S tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It was S tier for me. The like, yeah, the lightning thing, just the full execution of it is full on S tier. It's not just the powder blue thing. But your comment about the way that they have messed it up with all their different colors and stuff, it's a good point. It's actually kind of disappointing now to look at that. They got a bunch of pink and red and stuff for no reason. Best uniforms in the league, though.
And I'm not throwing shade at a random. Mike's going to be a Gamecock this summer, so there's no shade being thrown. I'm just saying those red knee pads don't do the jerseys justice.
Yeah, they need
just
to show
looking at
more
it from
respect to those.
Just seeing the jersey on the floor, not on a person, I think it's an S tier jersey.
Same.
Next up, we've got Iowa, one of the newer teams. Ryan, you're a big fan of these, huh?
Yeah, they might still be a little basic. I'm probably split torn between A or B tier. I just think for new team, they got pretty basic, but they're pretty clean, and they They got the black shorts to match.
I'm okay with B.
Yeah, I think I'm between B or C. I think they're simple, but I think they're really clean and they look good. I think B is definitely a good place to put it.
Yeah. I was in my head before this, I was between A and B for them. I think that there's a lot of uniforms that get messed up in this league and they went clean and basic. And I think it's solid, so I'm fine. I would say B instead of C if it came down to those two.
Yeah, I like B for sure.
Next up, we have Maryland.
My immediate thoughts is C. Um, I don't think they are the worst looking jerseys ever, but I think that specific design could have been done a lot better than it is. Just something about it I don't really like, but it's not bad.
I've been a known supporter of these jerseys, and I've gotten some hate for it. I would personally put them like A tier. I think the design's really clean. I think the Terps font is super clean, and they got that like Maryland flag bar underneath it. I think the whole jersey works. I would put them A personally, but
I
I
kind
know
of like.
that's been a hot take.
I like these two, Ron. I'm with you. Kevin, thoughts?
I'm also with Ryan. I think that they're A. I think they're clean. Like, yeah, I think that
I
they're
don't know.
underrated.
What stands out to me is that just that neckline and then the white on the side. It just doesn't really go with the rest of it to me. I don't know. There's just something there that's just throwing me off, but I don't mind it being an A.
Next up, Bowling Green. This picture actually does not do it justice. There is like orange feathers. Like it looks like a bird is. Well, I guess that's not great for
Oh
their branding. It
yeah.
looks like a bird just got
Yeah.
shot, I guess, and there's like feathers scattered around. These are sweet.
I S immediately. I think S. I mean, I love the white. I think they did it so well. It's just I really like the orange on white specifically, and it just looks really clean. Seeing them on the live stream this past weekend at Miami, I really like looking at it.
Do you have the orange one separate on here?
No, just because these are the ones they rock now.
No, they have orange as well. They have two different
They rock
sets.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
wore
went
them both
double.
at the tournament.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if
only
you go
had
to
one
their
picture of these.
Instagram, you can see there's yeah, they have two different options. Anyway, the feather thing honestly is a negative for me. And I was ready to go A tier, S tier type deal for them, but
You really don't like the feathers.
it doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel like it's Bowling Green. I don't know. I was leaning towards A tier at first. I think the orange ones I actually like better than the white. So orange ones I would listen to A tier. I don't know.
Yeah, I like A tier. I think they're really good. I think it could be a little better. I don't think they're quite S tier, but upgrade over
Yeah.
what they've had in the past for sure.
It's those
All right, we'll go
feathers. If you
eight.
look at the orange ones, they stand out too. But
Hmm.
good stuff. The fact that they got two different uniforms is nice too.
So here we have Illinois tough cropping because they have a lot of stuff up here. Let me see if I can find the picture I had in my. Don't mind my homework in the background.
I'm doing homework too. I'm pulling up their Instagram.
Nice. This is the picture I have with the stripes on the top. I'd say this is a C. Yeah,
I would put it in C. I don't think it really blows me away. I don't hate it, but it's just not comparing to everything else we've already put up on B and A. I
So
think
they
C is
got
definitely
two uniforms. They have one that goes blue to orange as well.
I think they might have worn those when we played them because these don't look like what they wore.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm definitely thinking C for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna C on both of them.
I think that the ones you're looking at right there, I would have B or C. The orange ones honestly are worse. The orange ones are D. You guys can see them on Instagram. Uh, you can throw that just C tier, I guess, is fine.
We'll go C. Cincinnati.
I
Thoughts?
like A. I think they're clean.
I'm not a fan of these, and I'm also not a fan of them because I thought they had the best jerseys in the league until they replaced them with these jerseys. I think these are like B tier. The logo's cool. I'll just never get over the fact they replaced their other jerseys that I just thought were perfect.
Yeah,
I gotta
I
do
think
some
these are like
homework.
C
I think
tier. I don't like
I
these.
I, I like the logo specifically. I feel like that's not. I think that's kind of an underrated, like really clean logo, and I think it goes well with the colors. I like just the contrast with the red and the black. I don't know. It's really clean to me.
I think B's fair. Rule of averages.
Yeah, I guess so.
Next, we've
Big
got the plat.
downgrade. I
I think
agree with
actually,
Ryan. They were close. They had really good uniforms before. Sorry.
Are we talking about the black jerseys with the red like claw marks on the sleeves? Is
Yeah.
that the one you're talking about? I do
Yeah.
like those.
Yeah.
Flatville, I'd have to go D. I don't like them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. The sleeves being a different color doesn't do it for me. The
Yeah,
logo's okay, and the gradient, I feel like it always feels cool when you're designing it, but I feel like it never works out great.
especially with the sleeves, I don't like the gradient. It's just not. It's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So you guys are saying D?
yeah.
Okay. It's fine.
It reminds me of the Illinois that I just don't like as much. Like
Next, we've got Georgia Southern here in the white jerseys. I believe these are different than last year's. They've also are those feathers?
I don't like the feathers.
I
There's
like
too
the I like the font. I don't like the feathers.
there's
I'm in the
too
same boat.
many. I like the idea of the feather, but there's just way too many.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting a texture on there. Also, it being gray, I probably would have preferred some like navy or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, C tier. I think it's close.
I got some
I'd go
bad
C.
news for you guys. You got to pull
Oh
up a
no.
photo of the back of the jersey. It's got like an eagle like across it, and it's like a two-tone like the back of the jersey is, and then like the numbers in the middle of the eagle. It's a aggressive choice. It puts it at D tier for me. I'm sorry. So
Are you
if you I
seeing this
can't
on their
show you,
Instagram?
this is actually like on the Nationals photos from last year. Let me see if their Instagram has it. Not to hate on
Oh yeah.
Georgia
Ooh.
Southern or anything, but I
I'm seeing
personally,
them now. I'd have to agree. It's very bold, and I don't think it worked. I'm gonna have to agree with the D on that.
We can go D tier with these.
If you saw the back, I think you'd agree. There's just too much going on, especially with the feathers.
Next
it's
up,
spelled out.
we've got Cleveland State. This is another not ideal crop. There's Leo Rockmore sporting them. I like them.
I love them. I love the black and green. Just the designs all around is just. I think it's done very, very well. That's another one I'd put in S for sure.
Yeah, with the shorts combo, I like it.
Yeah, I
One
would
of
have
the
gone
only
A tier,
one of the
but
only shorts that I think are done well. Something that comes out specifically is Akron's shorts from last year. I don't mind their jerseys, but I hated their shorts. I thought they
Yeah.
would have done a lot better with just some regular athletic shorts.
I don't think
let
we
me
have
give.
Akron here.
We
Oh, no,
do.
just kidding, right there.
They have 5 different jerseys, so I
Right.
just picked the one I saw them wearing
That's
recently.
crazy. I gotta pull up Cleveland States now and take a closer look. They are really like the sleeve thing or like the pattern is solid. Yeah, I'm not mad at them.
What do you think about Virginia and these blue with the orange webs maybe at the bottom? I'm going to be honest, that's D tier. I'm going to break
It's
the ice there.
it's like what Ryan was talking about with the gradients, where it looks cool when you're like designing and everything, but it just doesn't really look that great. It's just like it doesn't look bad, like it's not like an eyesore, but it it's just not the best.
The numbers also frustrate me on this one.
Same.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. The fact that the
Yeah.
numbers are the same color as the jersey and you just got like a thin outline that's hard to see doesn't work for me. Kind of just the balance of the jersey is off. It's all blue. I'm fine with D tier, C tier, or D tier.
Now we've got Michigan State's green jerseys.
These are another one. The numbers are hard to see. The pictures don't do it, but if you're in person or even watching on stream, the numbers become really hard to see. I think the design's really clean, so I wouldn't put it in D tier. I think B or C tier is fair.
Yeah,
I like B.
I think what stands out is they look like a very high quality jersey. I think that boosts up its grade, it makes it looks a lot cleaner than it is, like compared to the other jerseys that don't really look as like high quality. I would put it in B or C.
I got these D tier. You can't read the numbers on them. I will say though, I have their white jerseys as A tier. Their greens are just far,
Oh,
far, far worse. But their white jerseys, I would put A tier. I think they're really clean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
green, that photo right there is on like a media day thing with like the best lighting possible. Any other opportunity, you're not going to be able to read any number. And I feel like that's just same with the Virginia jersey. We talked about that. So, but the white jerseys, clean.
I'll go C for the green jerseys, A for the white jerseys.
Yeah, I like that.
Thoughts on this Alabama white and crimson script ordeal?
Can you give
I
me a
like the
zoom
idea.
in? Can we get any
That's the
closer?
most I can
All
zoom.
right.
Let me see if I can pull up the original and zoom more.
No, I'll pull up their
It's
Instagram.
very simple. I like the idea of it. I like the white on red. Just like I like the all white specifically, along with the BG is where I'm kind of similar. They look very similar to me, just with the different colleges respectively. I think it's really clean. I'd put it in like a B, maybe a C if you're really hating on it.
Yeah, I like B tier. Simple, but it works.
So like
Yeah,
B.
I know
I'm
they're
with
pretty
that.
limited too, so I think they are going to go new jerseys next year. From what Avery was saying, I think they were limited in what they could do in their first year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe we'll see.
It reminds me of the Iowa jerseys with just the simplicity that just really works.
Yeah, simplicity works. I think there's not enough of it. I think people go too hard now that fully sublimated jerseys is a thing. I think that people have gone way too far on that. Simplicity is sometimes really clean.
Yep.
We'll go B for Alabama. Next up, Northern Kentucky with their black jerseys. The
Yeah.
logo is just
It's all it is, really, is just the
yeah.
logo. I'd put it C.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. I don't think it's bad enough to be a D.
It's
They
just I don't
they do a good job of having the matching shorts with the numbers, and honestly, that part's not bad. That logo is just uh all time bad, unfortunately, and it's massive.
I think the
So
NKU logo might be one of my least favorite in the entire NCAA. Like
yeah.
it's just a lot.
Yep.
We'll go
Well,
C for
this logo
NKU.
also. If you look at this logo, it says like dodgeball
It's
club
yeah.
bigger than everything else, and it's just offensive. So unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't know, C or D.
Central Michigan, we're getting more of this guy's face than we are jersey. It has potential. I wish
I gotta do my homework. I gotta see the Instagram.
Yeah, pull
I
up the
wish it
Instagram.
said okay.
I used that picture, but I gotta look at it again now that I'm seeing it.
I
You
like them
wish
as
it said
B.
what?
I think they're pretty cool. The colors work.
Okay, if I don't like the shorts. I think they have shorts that are the same exact color, and I think it looks gross. Um, I think it kind of ruins it with just the jersey altogether. I think if they were like actual just black shorts, it would look way better. I'd have to put in like C.
It's very hard to see the design when it's not zoomed in.
But it's like imagine that design on their whole like shirt and shorts. It's just not. It's
Yeah.
not. It
I'm
doesn't
good.
look great.
I'm good with C.
Yeah, me too. I think it's not the best, but
We've got the Akron jerseys pictured in this specific tier list. Obviously, like Andrew said, they have 4,000 different jerseys.
Yeah, I think this is their one they've been wearing a little more recently. They also have their pink out jerseys, which I don't mind. I think honestly every single jersey I would rank in the same exact spot. And I think that would be B. I really like the kangaroo design. I don't know if you can see
I
that
do
on like
too.
the
That's
side
sweet.
there. They're very simple. They sometimes they got a little bit going on in them, but I like them. They're not simple enough where they're like really have that clean look to it, but I like the design of that the roo.
yeah, I think
I'm good
those
with
are the
B.
best ones. For their
Yep,
best
agreed.
ones, I should say. But C or
Yeah.
B for me still.
Yeah, I'll never get over what they wore to ODC with the shorts and the shirt, where it's just like the same design twice over. It just does not look good.
Those would be D tier or falling off the list, unfortunately.
They would be F tier for sure for me.
I
Yeah.
feel like the shorts were also all 3 sizes too big for every player.
They were like they're Adam Sandler shorts. They were going
and one baggy shorts like Stephon Marbury.
they were going a foot past the knees for sure. You'd be able to wear that as a Catholic school uniform.
Next up, we've got Western Michigan. I'm gonna be honest. These are sweet. Can I say that? Is this a
I'm in the complete other. I would have put them D tier.
Oh, I think these are like A tier. These are awesome.
I think they're just. It's way too much on the front. You can't even read it in person.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them in person.
There's so much controversy going on between you guys, and there's so much going on in my brain right now. I honestly have no clue how I feel about this.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's just like, I like the design, but like, I just feel like it has nothing to do with Western Michigan logo. I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, they're dealt a really bad hand with brown and gold to work with.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think you got to give them some credit for that.
Aesthetically pleasing with brown and gold, but I like it. If you guys don't, I'm completely okay because I know that's a hot take. I can put it in D tier. I can suck it up and put it in D tier.
I think C is a better spot for it. If you guys hate it, we can keep it in D, but
I'm worried that we collectively are going to catch some flack if we put this not D tier. This jersey.
If you've seen him in person, you can't read the front.
Yeah, it's. I think we got to have a discussion as a league about that. We can't have any more of this number that can't be read. Like, that's Bush League. What are we doing here?
Next up, we've got JMU black jerseys. These would be an A tier if you could see the numbers.
I think
or the logo.
I don't like their whites, and I think these are a lot better than their whites, which I think is why I put them there. I don't think they've worn them a lot this year, but I remember them at Nationals. I thought they were the worst done, like white. I don't like the white and purple. They had something going for them, but I think these are nice. I like the Dukes logo and just like the bulldog and everything, but it's nothing special. I think I'd put it in like C.
I like C. It's almost there. It's just hard to read.
I'm good with C.
I would have put them D. The black, like, it just looks like a T-shirt. I'm sorry. Their whites I didn't like very much either. I think they got to go back to 2013 JMU that had purple jerseys that had like white trim on it, and it was super clean. I have no idea why we haven't gone back to that.
Love to see a purple jersey from JMU in the future.
Yeah, they got a lot to work with. Unlike Western, they're the opposite side of the spectrum. They got purple and gold and white. I think they could do some good stuff.
2 more. We've got UNG C, I'd say off the bat.
I don't like it that much.
Those are outdated. Those are outdated, folks. We gotta pull up their Instagram. They got new ones, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna pull up the Instagram. It's gonna be on you fans to look at this and actually judge our rankings besides this picture.
Just kidding.
I mean, those we can rank though while they're there. I'm fine with ranking.
The Nighthawk jersey?
Yeah, the Nighthawk thing.
Ooh, I don't like those.
I'm going to say D.
Yeah, I'd put them in the same spot I'd put the one on the picture. I'd put them both in D. I just don't like it.
The black ones look a little bit too much like a T-shirt. I think the number's really tiny up there, hard to read. Again, numbers being hard to read has been a theme here. I like their old ones better, even though that logo isn't the best.
Now you got to give them some credit for this one because they were dealt a bad hand with their jersey order. They did good photo editing on this picture because they are just orange. Like, those jerseys do not look good.
Yeah, I think if they are red, I think they're close, maybe A tier. I really like the logo. The script at the bottom's cool. It's with the orange, it's like D, but I think we could rate them as if they were red because that wasn't their fault. I think they're A tier.
I do too.
I felt so bad hearing that at the captain's meeting last April. Like them showing their jerseys where they got them from. I was like, yeah, these were supposed to be crimson red, and this is what we got. Like it had to be the most unfortunate jersey order I've seen in the dodgeball world.
That's a tough
But I
bounce.
mean, with that photo, I'd put it at A. But seeing them in real life, it's a D. So wherever you think we put it, if we want
I
to give
think you
them
guys are
the
crazy giving him an A. I think that's crazy giving him an
Really?
A. Even if the coloring is right, I don't know that there's anything that special about them. I think that they would be B tier at that point. But obviously the orange
We can go
hurts
B.
too.
I like that.
There it is. Your final NCDA jersey rankings. Take it all in. Do with this what you will. Don't get too mad at us. Get mad at yourself. You made the jersey.
Can I
Yeah,
add
let us
one
know
to
what you
it?
think.
A defunct
Sure.
school from the NCDA, DePaul University, I would put S tier for their like basketball jersey looking uniforms. All time classics. Look them up later on your own time.
All right.
I'll get on that. All right. I
We
think
got Kent
I'll
State
get
and
on.
Cleveland State were the winners.
Yep.
Wow.
Who do we have as the losers?
Losers are Platteville, Georgia Southern, Virginia, Western Michigan, and UNG.
We're not throwing too much hate, but you might want to get in the lab this summer for those teams. So just so us four can rank them better. That's the only reason you got to get in the lab is just for our four personal opinions. But yeah, Kent State and who was it again? Who was the other S?
Cleveland State.
Cleveland State. Keep them around, please. But I think that's what we got going. Thanks for sticking around for as long as we talked. A little bit longer than we were hoping, but we got around to it. Talked about the Cubs. Very exciting stuff for next couple weekends, and then love to see some new jerseys next year that we can review. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Props to you guys for the